Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So we have now got the episode 7 photos to go through. There's 18 of them, so let us jump right in and make a start on them. So we're going to begin with this one right here, which is a photo of the now Emmons Field 4, thanks to Matt's exit in the last episode. We've got all 4 of them in what looks to be a room within Valdara, as we can all tell from the teaser we got a little bit earlier. This is the moment where Moraine is explaining to the group how she only wants to take herself and the actual dragon into the eye of the world and through the Great Blight, because obviously she fears whoever goes along with her will die if they are not the dragon. And so it seems to me what we're going to be getting playing out in this episode, of course, is the fact we're going to get the unraveling of the mystery of who the dragon is, and that's going to go hand in hand with the flashbacks to the Aiel fighting the companions from Ilion. So yeah, you can quite clearly see they're all very much, I would say, in a moment where they've had that kind of scene with Moraine and she's explained what she wants to happen and to do with the dragon and who that dragon will be. You can all see they're very kind of pensive. They've got concerns on all their faces. So yeah, and I have to say, just, let's talk about the kind of interior and the chamber itself. I really dig what they've done with it. I love how, even though it's inside, we still have all this kind of, what is the word here? These structures haven't kind of been decorated inside, and we've still got that kind of natural feel of, say, the brick and mortar that was used to build Valdara itself. I think that's quite a nice touch, and it has kind of like a rustic, earthly feel about it. But of course, within that, we do have kind of these ornate tables and chairs and kind of, what is that at the back there? This silvery looking, silvery looking kind of design going on there. I really don't know. I'm trying to see if there's anything of interest on the tables here with the group. Doesn't seem to be. And yeah, I would say this is kind of one of those rooms inside Valdara where people would just go and sit and have a chat or read books or talk about whatever it is that's on the agenda for the day. Right, let us move on. Okay, now this one. We've got another look at a moment between just Lan and Nynaeve. Now, I think, as I've mentioned on numerous occasions before, I feel we're going to get a speeding up process of these two and their relationship for this show. I think this is going to be one of those moments where they further enhance and expand upon, their feelings towards one another. Where they're going to take it in terms of how much Lan gives to Nynaeve in terms of letting her know, whether this is going to be that moment where we get between the two of them in the books where he kind of confesses his love but will not do anything with it, as he is obviously a warder and has nothing to give her. So I'm wondering and I'm contemplating whether that's what's going on here. Obviously they're kind of very much alone off in another part of the keep, I would say, obviously, because nobody is going to be around for these scenes. These are kind of these private moments between the two of them. Except for us millions of people watching the show, of course. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what this scene is about. Whether this is more to do with kind of Lan coming to talk to Nynaeve about her worries about who the dragon is going to be. That could be a potential difference in terms of what's being said in this moment. But I would go and suggest that it's the opposite, and this is kind of their confessions of their love and feelings for one another, although it has obviously been accelerated for the show, so it's a bit quicker in how it's all going. Right, up next we've got a photo of Rand and Perrin. Seems to be a bit of a heightened tension sort of moment. I think this is a discussion on potentially who the dragon is and what might be unfolding in that particular moment in the episode. Maybe this is the scenes after the reveal. And, they could be talking about that very thing of who the dragon is now. So yeah, I think that's what's going on within this photo here. I remember there was like a shot of Perrin running through the Faldara hallways. Maybe this is the end to that beginning. I really don't know. Okay. Up next, we have a photo of Moraine and Lan just walking once again through the Faldara Keep. There's not really much to say here other than... what can you really say here? It's just one of those kind of promo shots that you get for these episodes, which really isn't giving a lot of what's going on in the episode away. I feel there's quite a few of these which are really just there for you to have a look at, because I think the main important portions, of course, naturally are being kept back as they don't want to spoil anything through what is going to happen in this episode for the general audience. Because we are, of course, at the end game and the end point in this first season. So I think all the kind of teasers and all the kind of promo photos we'll be getting for the last episode will very much carry on in the same vein as this one. I think they're going to be as spoiler free as they can be, and they're not going to leave much of any sort of nuggets about what is going on, and so there's not going to be a lot to kind of decipher about these shots, very much like this. So yeah, it's a hallway, it's Lan and Moraine. What else? Let's move on. Up next is a very dark couple of shots of the ways, with Lan leading the way. Interestingly enough, I have to say, I didn't expect that. I thought, as we all know, with Loyal being very much the Ogier in the group and knowing the ways himself, he would be the one to lead the group. But of course that's not the case, which we can see in these photos here. Lan is very much leading the way, and to be fair, it's quite hard to make anything out of these photos. It's very, moody and dark and atmospheric, as you would expect with the ways. And I think these sequences, as I said a bit earlier in the previous video on the channel, I'm looking forward to watching these, and I think these should be real intense moments. What I will say though is, and this is on the second photo with Moraine kind of front and center, is she looks like she's finally seen the black mist. And I think that's what's coming towards them, in this particular photo here. And maybe she wasn't expecting to see the black mist. Right, up next we have fan favorite Min. It's our first introduction to her, our first photograph of her. And what can I say? They've kept her very much in tune with where she would be working, but of course they've moved it away from where she originally was brought into the show, of course, because we are not in that city for the first season. That comes in the second one, and so they had to find a way to introduce Min to the show, and so they've moved her over to Faldara. What does that change really do or make on the show? Not much, so I'm not really over disappointed or feel any kind of way about it, whether positively or negatively. But of course, what I'm happy with is the fact she's still working in a tavern, very much like she was when we first get introduced to her in the Eye of the World. The tavern itself, with the photo we've got, looks really cool. I like all the kind of like wines and spices. In the top right corner, this reminds me very much of what you would see in like the Elder Scrolls games. We've got some interesting designs over here on the left, right next to Min as well. And yeah, just really interesting photo. Nice to see Min, of course. And I'm just wondering, how much and how long in terms of the screen time we're going to get with Min. Because of course in the teaser we saw her get the vision with Perrin, but I think we saw the very early beginnings of what that vision of Perrin was going to be, and I think there's going to be a little bit more of that scene for us to see and what comes with that. And I think we're kind of going to get that across the board with every single character that she comes across when they go into her tavern, or whether she bumps into them in some other place within Valdara. Up next, we've got a very moody shot of Lady Alisa. Not really much to say here. She's in a kind of room looking very lonely, all on her own. Someone needs to go keep her company, I would say. She looks very bored. It almost looks like a prison. Poor her. So yeah, let's move on. We know she had eyes for Rand back in the book, so I'm wondering whether that's going to be brought into the show here. Up next, we have another photo of her, and in this one we get a much greater look and a much better and clearer look at kind of her outfit in general. This is the photo I saw a couple of days back, which I described in my kind of leaked photos that I got. So yeah, like I said, the dress itself is really nice. I think it's a little bit different from what we were expecting to see, and I think it kind of looks and feels slightly odd when you look at the next photo of, say, what the heck is his name? My god, my brain has gone dead for a second here. The Lord of Haldar, what is his name? Lord Agelmar, bloody hell. His outfit, when put that next to his sister's, is completely different, and they don't kind of look like they're from this kind of same sort of style, which is really intriguing to me. This again is very much a photo that was leaked, which I described in that previous video of mine a few days back. But you can all finally see it now. So yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time on it, except to say I really love his outfit. It seems to be like he's got these sort of raven or crow figure feathers on his kind of outfit, which I think is quite interesting, as if you can obviously remember, crows are like the spies of the Dark One and the Shadowspawn, and they work for the Dark Friends sort of thing. So it's really intriguing to see that kind of be brought into the show, and for it to be kind of part of a Faldaran's outfit. And I think that's a kind of cool and interesting nod to us fans, if it's something you do pick out. And then, the next photo is just a photo of the pair of them now within the same one. So, I'm not going to leave and say much about that. Right, up next we have Rand in the courtyard, practicing his kind of accuracy, I presume, with his bow and arrow. Again, we've seen these shots in the leaked photos of that passerby who stumbled upon the set. So we've had a look at these photos. We've seen what this particular set itself looks like. So there's really not much anything else I can add to it, because we've all seen this photo. But the next one is slightly new. It's different. It's in the same place, but it's a more kind of delicate, intimate moment between Rand and Agreen. Of course, this would be, I think, more of a moment where they finally kind of caught their breath and can have a bit more of a conversation with one another after finally meeting up outside the ways. And then, of course, travelling through the race, I think it's just one of those lovey-dovey moments between them, and maybe in this present state and time in this episode, the reveal has happened. Maybe they're discussing Rand having to go to the Eye of the World. Really, it's hard to say. I would say this is maybe a scene I would predict to be kind of in the slap bang middle of the episode. It has that feel to me of it, or towards the middle, I should say. Then we've got these real interesting sequences of photos, the next three, which are of Nynaeve, Perrin and Moraine. And it looks to be they're having some kind of argument or confrontation, which I find to be quite interesting. Because in one of them you've got Moraine who's front and centre, but then in the background you can see Perrin off to the left. And then we've got the photo of Perrin and Nynaeve out in the kind of Faldara, if you want to call it, courtyard area where they have all the other smaller homes and houses and buildings within the keep itself. And so what is really going on within these scenes is hard to say. What I will say, and I've noticed straight away here, let's look what we've got right here in the background. We've got what looks to be an armory. And so I think Perrin's going to feel right at home here, and I think maybe we'll see some scenes of him in the forge, or at least working the irons and the weapons, because that will obviously bring him a bit of comfort in these episodes, or in this kind of point in time, I should say. So I think that could be something to look out for. He might just go along and maybe help out there. I really don't know. And then like the final few photos, once again, as I've mentioned, there's not really a lot to take from them. It's photos of Egwene and Nynaeve respectively in like kind of the bed chambers, or at least Egwene is. Nynaeve looks to be somewhere a little bit different again. Like I said, there's not a huge amount to really, extract from these photos. So I'm just going to leave them up on the screen for a few more seconds before I end this video. So yeah, there you have it, guys. Those are the 18 photos for this week's episode of the Wheel of Time show. I hope you've all enjoyed the video. If you have, of course, please leave a like, and of course, any comments you have on the photos, something you might have picked up upon that I didn't, do so, leave them in the comment section down below. Right, guys, really looking forward to this Thursday/Friday morning. Can't come quick enough now. So yeah, I will catch you all Friday with a breakdown video. Hopefully, fingers crossed, if I can get it out on Friday for you all. Right, catch you all then.